Samurai Cop is an anomaly. It's such a strange movie that's carved its own little niche in pop culture as being this awkwardly terrible movie. It's often spoken of in the same way as The Room. There's a Dave Matthews Band song named after it. I mean, my wife tells me that there's a Dave Matthews song titles are not really in my wheelhouse, and it's been covered a lot, but I realized, you know what? No one has talked about it in relation to its belated sequel and discussed the timeline. So I guess I'll do that, because what you want is results, and that's what I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you the results. This kicks off back in 1991 with Samurai Cop and was the final film from director Amir Shervan, who made a string of low-budget action flicks through the late 70s and the 80s and passed away in 2006, right before the film took on a new life as a cult hit thanks to some viral clips. It begins big, and when I say big, I mean chins, because Zadar is here, but you know, when he has a beard, that thing just kind of looks above average. The great Gerald Okamura is here too, and then we meet Riggs and Murtaugh. I mean, Marshall and Washington. And this is clearly Joe's real hair here. I mean, this is definitely not a wig under a hat. Melissa Moore is here, and again, I'll remind you of that scene from Repossessed.
Inspiring. Young lady, would you pull down your dress?
Sure.
Joe's hair is magically real now, and they get involved in a chase, and the van that they're chasing has tags that expire in 90, so it's possible that that's our year here.
Hey man, watch it! Watch it! Oh man!
And we get to the scene that's responsible for this movie's renewed success.
Do you like what you see?
I love what I see.
Would you like to touch what you see?
Yes, I would.
Would you like to go out with me?
Yes, I would.
Would you like to me?
Bingo.
This particular clip circulated around YouTube and sparked the film's reputation as a so bad it's good masterpiece. Occasionally, someone calls Joe a samurai. He's not Japanese, doesn't dress that way, and there's basically no reason to call him samurai, but I guess the movie needed a hook?
What does katana mean?
It means Japanese sword.
There's also the famous restaurant speech, and fun fact, Matthew Caritas hated making this movie and says the contempt on his face in this scene is real, and he couldn't hide his frustration with the dialogue and purposely tried to bomb the scenes thinking that they wouldn't include them, but they did. But with as much disgust as that scene is, I prefer this guy.
Where's her father?
Bang! Killed? Who shot him?
He,
Who?
him,
Who's him?
himself.
Oh, he committed suicide.
Yes.
Joe uses a sword to chop this guy's arm off, so I guess he is a samurai. Sure. And then Zadar manages to shoot this man without leaving any bullet holes. So damn, he's got some skills. The chief has a calendar in his office letting us know that it's actually August of 1990. But wait, did I say that Walter was my favorite? Because no, it's actually this guy.
Stay back. This guy's mine.
And why is everyone in this movie just so horny?
Hey, preacher,
Yeah.
you and I got nothing to do. Let's
Shut up.
Weirdly, when they attack Okamura's house, because I guess I should point out that Gerald Okamura is playing a character named Okamura, he has this calendar up on his wall that says it's November of 1990, so either he's ahead or the chief is behind, but whatever, I guess it's still 1990. Plus, I'd like to propose a Samurai Cop drinking game for you guys out there, like another reason to watch it, but take drink anytime that you notice Joe's hair switch from actual hair to obvious wig that he had to wear because he cut off his hair before reshoots, and actually don't do that, you will die. But I guess take an additional shot if the wig falls off. Whoops. But then whoops again, because then it's January of 1991. Did time pass? Is this 2 months later? What's going on here? Why are we watching Zadar have a love scene? And then in a movie with such big, grandiose screw-ups, I love this tiny little one. When the bad guys attack Peggy at her house, she tries to reach a gun that's in her drawer, and close up, it's just a standard handgun, but when she actually gets her hands on it and pulls it from the drawer, boom, it's an old-timey Western revolver. It all leads to a big shootout with some inspired deaths. And they take out Fujiyama, leaving only Yamashita alive because, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, Robert Zadar is playing a character named Yamashita. He and Joe face off with swords and then with fists. Wig? No wig. Joe wins the fight and Yama commits seppuku. It ends with Joe and his lady friend, Jennifer, together on the beach in thongs. And I'm sure that Peggy, who Joe was together with earlier and who now is horribly scarred from her experience, will take that perfectly well. So yeah, the film didn't make a big dent, but eventually took on that huge cult fame. So of course they decided to make a sequel. However, it was said that the samurai cop himself, Matthew Caritas, was dead and had passed away around the same time as Shervin. But they decided to go ahead and make a second part anyway, bringing back the character of Frank Washington and having him pair up with Joe's daughter. But then Matthew's real-life daughter heard the rumor and said, hey, my dad's not dead, and convinced him to make a video announcing to the world that the rumors of his demise were greatly exaggerated. So, Samurai Cop 2 would actually feature the Samurai Cop, and in 2015, it happened with Samurai Cop 2: Deadly Vengeance. Since Shervin actually was dead, director Gregory Hatanaka took over, and it kicks off in 1991 with Joe and Frank, but they look a heck of a lot older, and he's with Jennifer still, although she's been recast into adult star Caden Cross, and oddly, he says that they've been together for several years. He says all these years together, but they just met in the last movie, which was in 90 or 91, and this is 91, so at most it's been a year, but maybe he was being hyperbolic. She's killed though, and we flash ahead, and there's a gang war brewing, and Bai Ling is here, and apparently Fujiyama is still alive, and says he's built back up the katanas over the past 20 years, so it's at least 2011 here. Adult star Lexi Bell is here with her eyebrows, like watch these.
Ancient prophecy in his family. Joe Marshall is an evil creature. One of us will be chosen to fight and defeat him. If Marshall returns, our rivals will side with him like they did before.
Frank says it's been 25 years, so I guess it's actually 2016. And his current partner is Laureen Landon, and the chief has been recast as Joe Estevez, and he finally locates the samurai cop. He backs up the 25 years number, so yeah, it's 2016, and he meets a woman named Melina, who's a spitting image of Jennifer. And Peggy's back, and then, oh, hi, Mark. I mean, what's he doing to the set? It's like he's tearing it apart. So, quick note, this movie was shot with only a partial script, and the actors were frequently allowed to improvise and just come up with their own lines, and 3 guesses whether or not Wiseau stuck to the script. There's a lot of jokes that I think make sense to someone, I guess maybe inside jokes.
Would you care for some kale chips, fresh from the well-paid employees at our factories in Portland, Washington?
And Ralph Garman cameos, but Melina is revealed to be a double agent, and Donna Lee Helsing pops up, as does Mel Novak, and they squeeze in a bunch of bit part players from the first one, including the guy who got his arm chopped off, and Okamura makes a ghost appearance.
Are you familiar with the complex?
The question is, are you familiar with the complex? Joe then goes to fight someone, I don't know. There's so many weird villains that are just here and gone, but don't actually do anything. I don't know who the bad guy really is here. Joe kills Fujiyama and Doggy, and Tommy decides to say Joe like 5 times in one sentence.
You think you have chosen one, Joe?
I never claimed to be.
You got that wrong, Joe. And now, there is no more room for words, Joe.
He's stabbed in one of the worst things I've ever seen, and is revealed to be Melina's brother and the guy that killed Peggy from earlier in the movie. And he's like, I don't know, 15 years old in that scene, and it's 25 years later, so I guess that like Tommy's character is supposed to be like around 40, which, yeah, that's not right. And then that's pretty much it. Thank goodness. So there you have it. It's 2 movies, and if you are trying to give me the worst movies of all time and you're showing me that first movie, I am not going to be mad, because that is such a great, fun experience to watch. It's so silly and so ridiculous. On the other hand, if you're forcing me to watch that second movie again, I'm gonna fight you on it, because it is the exact kind of bad movie that I do not enjoy, that sort of forced cult movie thing, like when we're trying to make a cult movie, we're trying to make something that's intentionally bad and over the top so that you guys make fun of it, but it's not as funny when like it is the joke. Either make a serious joke or make a serious movie. Don't try to make a joke that's not serious with the hopes of me taking it serious. That doesn't make any sense. Just don't intentionally try to make a terrible movie. It doesn't really work. So there you go. I love the first one though. I will watch it 100 times. If you've seen these and liked them, let me know. If you have never heard of the Samurai Cop movies and now are really, really interested in checking out at least the first one, let me know that down below. You will get a kick out of it. And yeah, if you like this video, please hit the like button, hit subscribe if you enjoy the channel. Please go to the Patreon page at patreon.com/movietimelines if you want to help support the channel. These guys do, they are my patrons, and they are awesome. They are samurai cops in their own rights. And I will see you very shortly for another great video. Thank you guys very much. Have a good one.